only the toothed whale has. This is not for the baleen whales, only the toothed whales. They have what is called echolocation. This demands a bit of explanation. That's not a sound we want to hear. Yeah, want to keep there. Sorry about that. That was a high-pitched frequency. Everybody could hear that. So what's going on here is that this is a dolphin cut in half. All the gray stuff, that's the skull. See how long the whole jaw is, like extended, and that's one of the characteristics actually for the toothed whale. It's extended like this. This is the blowhole up here, and if you can imagine that the blowhole, the air goes right down to the lungs, and the lungs are down here. So actually the whale can never get anything stuck in the throat. Well, it can get something stuck, but it cannot, like, when it swallows a fish, it wouldn't go down in the lungs, as for us. It can happen for us, because it's separated. But what happens when the dolphin dives is that the air from the lungs compressed a bit, and it comes up here into this area up here. Got a few airbags up here, not big, like this size, and they recirculate the air up here. This part is very important as well. It's a very sensitive area, specialized fatty tissue, and it's called the melon, because it looks like a melon. It's blubber, but it's specialized acoustic fat. So what happens here is that when the tooth whales, they make the echolocation sound, they have a pair of muscles up here. They go like this, just like when you pull a balloon and you have air in the balloon, it goes. And the sound is transmitted up here through the melon and then out this way. Some of it bounces. You can see there's a little bit of an air sac here. It hits that one, and then it comes out here. And what the melon does is that it focuses the sound. It's just like turning on a torch under the water. So they have actually a beam that's very narrow, so they can aim with the echolocation. And then, say for example, hits one of the whale over there, or fish or something up here, the sound bounces back again. And the sound returns into the lower jaw, and inside the lower jaw they have some specialized fat as well. And this fat is connected to the ear bones. They have the same type of ear bones as us, but they're fused and they're hard. Actually, the baleen whale's got the hardest bone in the ear. And then when this fat starts to vibrate, then the whole inner ear starts to vibrate, and by that they can hear. And this will be, some of it can be up to 150 kilohertz, which we cannot hear. Remember, we can only hear up to 20 kilohertz. So it's way above. And I like to see it as if they X-ray. If you ever seen an X-ray picture, that's how I picture what they get in return. I don't know if they can see in color, nobody knows, but they're kind of scanning and getting that image. So imagine that you were scanning this whole thing. You would see, oh, there's something sticking out there, something sticking out there. Get like all the textures coming back. And then if you can see it's moving, or if you can sense there's some air inside of it, that might be a fish, might be the swim bladder of a fish. Right. So that's the echolocation. And I know you're dying to hear the sound of how the pupils echolocating. So this sound is actually, it's not the real, it's the real sound, but the speed is, well, gone down so you can actually hear it. Okay? Where's the arrow? Yep. There we go. I need to use my right hand. So that's how the purple finding the fish. In this experiment, we had a fish at the end of the pole. The porpoise was released at the other end, and it was echolocating. Where's the fish? Where's the fish? And once it gets the target, it echolocates so that it makes the the spaces between the clicks shorter, but it diminishes the frequency a little bit, not much, just a little bit. And then it gets more images of, oh, it is a fish, yes, it is a fish, and it gets it. So that's the echolocation of the toothed whale. The sperm whale is a bit more sophisticated. Don't know if you've seen the sperm whale, but they're amazing creatures. You can see them at the Azores, you can see them in Andenes. You would be able to see them around here, but they're pretty rare visitors. The sperm whale got this pretty weird head here. You might have seen him, he got this weird nose. 1/3 of the length of the animal is the head. And it's always been a puzzle about why do they have this big head? What is the purpose of a big head? And back in the old days when they were hunting them, and they cut up this whole bit, there was a bit of oil coming up, actually a lot of oil. And I guess it was men back then, because it looked like sperm, and that's why they called it a sperm whale. But it's got nothing to do with sperm. It's not full of sperm in the head, okay? This is the blowhole on the side. You can always recognize the sperm whale because it got the blowhole situated on the left-hand side. You see the blow is angled like this. So if you see like this raw angle blow, you'll see definitely that could be a sperm whale. Then when you get closer, you see this look, you got the sperm whale. The mystery of the head has been resolved, and this is a figure of the head of the sperm whale. This is the skull, all the hard bones. These are the teeth, and this is all the city oil. It's divided into two. The upper part is a bit more fluent than the lower part. The lower part is called the junk, because back in the old days, this is too, they didn't know what to do with it. But in here, there's actually lenses, just like in a camera, of fatty tissue. It's like a lot of melons from the dolphin that's lined up. And then you have the other more juicy stuff up here. And what happens is, over here, you have the blowhole, and then you got a channel going straight down to the lungs. Then you have an air sac going around here, and an air sac over here as well, in the back of the skull. So what happens is that out here, they have some huge muscles. I've seen them, they're this big. They're round on one side and flat on the other side. The other one is flat and then it's big and round. It's called the monkey lips. And what it does with these monkey lips, slam them together, and when they slam them together, there's a big sound coming out, big click, comes out this way, but some of it goes back into the skull of the head, or the skull of the whale, bounces on that big air sac, and returns throughout the junk. And then it's focused throughout when it comes through here. And an interesting thing is that the first click, when you record these clicks, you have to look at them at the computer. Then you'll see that there's a big click first, and then there's a smaller click just after. If you measure the difference or the length between those two clicks, you can estimate the size of the head of the whale. And by that, you can estimate the length of the whole whale. There you go. That's Acoustics when it's beautiful. I'll play you some of the clicks. You might be able